Good morning. Thank you for joining me this wonderful morning. Happy Monday to all of you. And let's get started. Let us begin first by placing our awareness, as we always do, in the heart, in the area of the heart, taking slow, deep, gentle breaths, just experiencing those breaths flowing in and out of your heart, breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would, and just settle into your space with a deep breath, slowing it down. Just feel your body just relaxing and getting connected with each other, with every part of yourself that is becoming you. And this is your time with yourself. Slow, deep, gentle breaths as you imagine these breaths flowing in and out of your heart, breathing very slowly, very gently, and getting connected. If it feels appropriate, imagine the breaths flowing right down into the perineum or your root chakra and exhaling from your root chakra and out from your heart. The deeper the breath, the more oxygen that will be distributed in your body. So take these deep breaths and imagine them flowing into your heart, down to your root chakra, and then up from your root chakra, out of your heart, breathing very slowly, very gently, and nurturing yourself. you had your eyes closed, you can open them now, gently open them, and continue to breathe in this way, of course. Today's topic, the next 5 minutes, is making decisions, fear versus inspiration. I want to share with you, um, most of you know that most of you know that I work with individuals, and a common thing that comes up, whether you are a CEO, because I work with CEOs of organizations, or whether you are somebody who's in the lower rank and file of an organization, or somebody who's just taking a gap year in their life and figuring out what to do. They all have a very similar pain point and trait, and that is they make decisions. Now, when I was, a vice president of a, Fortune 500 company, the decision to leave that company and not have anything to fall back on was a big decision. And I always convey this in my workshops. I say, that decision wasn't made out of an inspiration to do something what I'm doing now, although I landed in what I'm doing now. That decision was based on fear of abandonment, fear of being rejected, and fear of failure was a big one for me. So if I had known that I was making decisions based on fear, that would have kind of shaped how I would have sought help. So I want to share with you, the approach that I now guide others to take, so that they don't have to go through what I went through. Although I landed on my feet, and to segue a bit, it doesn't matter whether you make a decision based on fear or inspiration. The universe will always guide you and help you land on your feet. So it doesn't matter whether you make that decision one way or the other. However, it's more pleasant to be more inspired in making a decision than being fearful in that decision, because the consequences are quite different in both. So how do you know? And you may reach back into the last decision you made. You bought a house, perhaps, you bought a car, whatever you did, you decided to go to school, you decided to tap into your your retirement savings to do something. What was the last decision you made? And ask yourself, was that decision made because I was afraid of something? My fear of missing out on something, or was it that I was just so inspired to do something and I didn't care where the money came from? I was driven by just the love of doing what I'm doing. And there's a texture in both. There's a texture in you either feel light, you feel inspired, you feel like, wow, imagine me in this situation. You feel that kind of lightheartedness, versus if I don't do it now, I am going to fail here, or I'm going to really suffer and I'm going to miss out on life. Marketing is something that people like, or big organizations, they make a lot of money by putting pressure on consumers. For example, if you don't do this in the next 24 hours, you're going to miss out on a huge discount. So where you were thinking about, you were kind of on the fence about whether you need that or not, that item, because you might miss out, you decide to go ahead and jump in. So it's important to understand why we are behaving in the way we're behaving. And we always want to lead with inspiration, always, but know full well that in my experience, even though I led with fear, I ended up back on my feet again, because eventually I found inspiration in what I'm doing now, and I'm continue to do now. So important to know that if you've made a decision based on fear in the past, remember to forgive yourself. Remember to invite inspiration, and we will do that in the next 5 minutes. We will invite inspiration, and then we can make our decisions based on that kind of embodiment of inspiration and lightheartedness. The universe, spirit, the matrix, speaks to us in inspiration. That is the feeling we get when we're connecting with that which is greater than all of us, spirit, God, whatever you want to call that entity that created us, that is responsible for the life force within us. That whisper comes from that area of inspiration and love. And if you're feeling anything different, it's because you're pushing that away and inviting fear. And that's okay. That's okay. Just remember to forgive yourself when you're in that mode. Recognizing it is important and you can recognize it with the way you're feeling, the way your emotions are. Okay. So pay attention to your emotions and always lead from that place of inspiration. If you lead from the place of fear, forgive yourself and get back into that state of inspiration, because you will always find your way. Because I can tell you right now that I'm a living example of when I had to make a decision from fear and then finally landed on my feet where I'm inspired to do things. So let us begin to access this wonderful inspirational energy right now. Let us continue to praise our breath awareness in the area of the heart. Focus on our breath, taking slow, deep breaths, and just imagine these flowing into the heart, down to the perineum, and out from the perineum, out of the heart. Slow your breathing down in such a way that you are breathing in for 5 seconds or so and breathing out with the same pace, 5 seconds or so. And make these breaths symmetrical. And you continue to do that. And as you do that, put a gentle smile on your face. And now, inspired action is what we're aiming for here right now. So what inspires you? What has inspired you in the past? What do you look forward to that is an inspirational thought or feeling? Let us immerse ourselves in that thought, in that feeling, and let us just feel it. Important to feel the emotions, and the more intense of those inspirational emotions that you experience, the more powerful your results will be. So let us access inspiration in our hearts. Invite and ask your body to allow you to feel a more intense version of what you're feeling right now. Just ask your body to allow you to open up your cells to receive more inspiration. You had your eyes closed. You can open it up now. You can continue to breathe in this way, of course. It's always helpful to do it this way. I want to thank you for participating today. Appreciate it. And while you can type in your questions or reflections, I'm happy to take those. If you're in the Calgary area, October 1st and 2nd, tickets are on sale now. I know it's a long way away, but it'll come around very quickly here. I'm presenting a couple of workshops there on a Saturday on October the 1st. And if I can be of service to help you get out of your own way, to help you break through some blocks that you may be experiencing, please do schedule an appointment with me for that. All right. All right. Let's take some questions. Let's take some comments now. All right. See if I can. Claire and Carol, love and blessings to you. Thank you for joining today. Good morning, Cynthia. Yes, I like what you said, Claire and Carol. Inspiration means in spirit. Absolutely. Most of us forget that our decisions should be really based on a place of inspiration. And sometimes what we need to do is take a deep breath and say, I'll come back to you another time. It's a great technique I teach to, especially to CEOs or people in the upper management corporate world, is that when you're asked a question and you sense your emotions are in that state of, kind of deer in the headlights, or you feel frozen, you feel angry, you feel triggered. It's at that time to say, you know what, I want to think about that particular thing you just said about, I want to reflect on it because, I want to formulate my thoughts. Is it okay if I get back to you, in an hour or so? That kind of stuff. So to me, that would be a way to approach it. So thank you so much for that comment, Karen Carroll. Thank you, Dr. Wolf. Appreciate it. I hope you're settled in. I know you've been traveling a lot, so I look forward to connecting with you very soon. All right, no more questions or comments coming in. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. I look forward to seeing you next week. And you can always access the replay. I'll send out an email with the replay link. Thank you so much. Take care.